Good morning, team. Okay, so we spent a bit of time in the last video discussing identifying a problem. The CAM team identified a problem and built a tool, which was a complex thing to do, but they built a tool that's going to speed up our workflow. How do we use the tool? There's completely different things in building a tool and how to use a tool. Because one, you've automated some part of Rhino, but the second one requires some knowledge of what it is you're doing. So we have this item, I've locked it in Rhino so that it doesn't annoy me with snap points, etc. But we have this ring over here and we want to support it. And we're going to have some distinctly different kinds of supports. We're going to have the casting sprue support, which is not in this tutorial, we'll automate that later. Then we've got internal supports based on angle. We have some external supports going up the shank to help hold it onto the base, other than sprue support. And then we're going to need to build some supports here coming down because these prongs might break in motion. So this is up to you as a Rhino user to do this smartly. I'm looking at this and I'm going, well, I can array a couple of lines over here, number one, and then shift them around the way I need. Internally here, I can draw a couple of curves from there and then mirror them over. So do the minimum work you need to do in Rhino, which is exactly the same thing you do now anyhow. All right. So knowing that we're drawing against the control plane over here, I'm going to draw a curve coming from you to you. I don't know, let's bring you in there. Let's bring you in there. I want to bring it into the middle. I want to draw another one up here, I guess. Do I need to draw all four curves? No, I don't. I need to have just these two. I can now mirror them as required. This is nothing new to you. Okay, so we've got the external curves we want over here. We want some support curves down the side here. So let's grab over here and let's say we're working in there. I've seen you guys use this curvature just to let you know it doesn't matter whether it's curved or straight, makes no difference to the grower. But hey, if it makes you happy to draw them curved, go for it. Just draw smart. So let's mirror these over a center point, stick them out over there. So we have the base supports we need here. We have all the supporting we're going to need inside done. What we need now is some supports from the tips of these prongs coming down so it doesn't all fall apart when we grow it. So let's draw smart. Let's work from here. Let's take a side view and just draw one prong. Snap somewhere to the prong over there. We know that this prong is against the ground plane. So does it matter whether we come into the ring or out the ring? I don't know, it really makes no difference to me. This one's going to have to come down to the ground plane over there. Alright, so in the top view, let's array polar around the world origin, which is 0. And how many items do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12. Let's have a look at what we got. Yep, we're happy with that. Let's dump it. Now, we generated one more than we needed on the inside here, so let's delete it. And let's delete it. Okay, so now the hard part of piping this, adding the breakpoints that we built in here is all gone. Except that there's distinctly different kind of things we have to do here. For these bottom ones, we're going to need them a little fatter because that's what's holding it to the ground plane for us. For these top ones, that don't really matter. Taper if you want to taper, don't taper if you don't want to taper. But the internal ones for sure, there's no taper. They start with a ball, they're straight flat, and they end on a ball, so it's easy to break out. So let's start working on our curve groupings smartly. Okay, so we need these two guys, we need these two guys, which are the base ones holding us onto the grow plate, and let's set them up inside this. Go set multiple curves. Now we need these guys a little bit more staunch. Okay, so let's make our bottom as fat as we can. Let's bring our top up a bit more, keeping our breakpoint where it should be. We're okay with that now. Bake. Alright. That's okay. They're done. So we can now move on to our next grouping, which is these little inside guys. Alright, let's get them out of the way first. So that's you guys there. Let's pop them in. Set multiple curves. Now, the last setting we use is way too fat for inside here. Should it be fat over there? I don't think so. So let's try and get it to a more kind of even thing that's easy for Manuel and these guys to break off. We know we can print 0.6 okay, so we don't really need a taper over here. All we need is some kind of support structure in here with the least amount of work for Manuel to have to break off. Okay, so this kind of support is completely different to that kind of support. Although we automated the drawing of all the supports, and all of them now have the same percentage of breakpoint, we have to be clever about not just chucking all the curves in there and hoping for the best. So we had this kind of support for the shank, where the internal supports are done, let's bake them. Bang. Okay, we can move on to the next lot of supports, which is these guys on the outside here. All right, so let's grab them. And we don't want that falling off the base plane for sure, but we don't want a big thing up the top yet. It's only there to make sure that this doesn't shift around too much. And at the end of the grow, this is not really going to shift a lot, and whether we actually really do need the supports or not, who knows. But I'd like to add these guys in there just in case, but not make a problem for Manuel. So I'm going to set all those curves in there. At the base, I sure as hell need them a lot fatter than that, because we don't want them dislodging from the base. But up at the top, I want to make it easy for Manuel to come in and tear these things off. So let's have a look. Up the top there, do I want a big round thing up the top there for the guys to have to clean up on the item? No, I don't. Is that going to be enough for me? Is the end user going to complain about having to tear those off? I doubt it. We've still got the breakpoints we need. We've got all the supports we need. Now we can bake. And you finish supporting that entire ring in just a couple of moves. You're ready to move on to growing now. Add your little base plane and your bottom support. We'll cover that in the next video. Okay? Cheers, guys.